Alright, so I'm going to explain to you kind of how to get access to the Dante system and the Biamp console. So this is for you, technical coordinator or assistant director of technology and events, or whatever they call you these days. Here we have a laptop that's just going to live here. It's plugged in. We're going to use the login for Campus Life AV1, which you should know the password, so I'm not going to say it here. This is an older computer, so it's going to take a little bit more time. It's a little bit sluggish. But once you get into it, it is already plugged into our Dante network, and it should just pop up just fine right here. So here you have access to the whole matrix of routing for each of the wall plates, ins and outs, and as well as the Yamaha TF1 mixer. When it's connected to the Dante system, it will also populate here, and you can assign the different microphone inputs to different channels on the Dante enabled mixer. Dante controller just kind of routes audio around, and then the Biamp controller actually routes those inputs to specific speaker systems in the ceiling. There's about three different speaker arrays in or like lines in Bernie A and B, and then there's I think 4 different zones in C that are a bit separated. So real quick, we're just going to log into here using this little white computer-looking thing. In here, you'll be able to select UNCW Bernie Ballroom. You hit Open Control Surface, and now this gives you access to our Biamp control area. Here you can adjust the volumes of individual microphones for each setup. So right now we're in Bernie A. You have EQ for each microphone. So I've already kind of wrung out the rooms a fair amount. They should all be pretty good. But if you wanted to come in and make some adjustments, you can load up each microphone's EQ here. So that's mic A1, that would be a handheld mic for A. Mic A3 is going to be a lavalier mic in A. And mic M1 is going to be a gooseneck mic in A. So here you have an EQ, a parametric EQ, as well as a high-pass filter option. Now if you scroll down to the bottom of the screen, you get to check out Room A outputs. So this is where you see your 2 zones, Zone A, Zone 1 and Zone 2, and the assisted listening send. So this is where you can attenuate or boost sends to the assisted listening devices, which are rarely utilized here. But it does also give you access to attenuating your zones in the ballrooms. So generally we keep the first zone in A, so that's the zone closest to the projection screen, attenuated by about 14.5 dB. This just helps with feedback when we have a stage set up on that wall, so it's turning down the ceiling mics above the stage. Now if we go over to Room C output, you'll see that Zone 1 is also attenuated, and that's by 20 dB in this case, and that's the zone above the stage in Ballroom C. In Ballroom B, if you end up doing a situation where you have a stage on the back wall in B, unfortunately there's no zone change ability right over the stage, because the speakers, so say this is the stage, like, and that's the back wall. In Bernie C, you have a line of speakers going this way, so you can turn those speakers down. But in Bernie B, that stage is oriented in a 90-degree situation, so your speaker zones are actually going in this direction. So you can't attenuate just the speakers above the stage. You have to attenuate an entire line out into the audience. So That's a little unfortunate, but it might come in handy to turn one of those lines down right above a gooseneck. Now, so each room has its own sets of inputs and outputs, and you get EQ control over each microphone from here. Now you also have a mic matrix, which assigns mics to different locations, different control things, whatnot. I'm not going to get into the nitpickies of this. You'll be able to figure it out. Basically, the wall panels assign Biamp to reassign these depending on how we set up the room. And this should work. Sometimes it doesn't. And you just gotta turn things off and on, go back in, send it commands a couple times, and it'll shape up. But yeah, that's about it for a quick rundown on how to get into the nitpickies of the system. And we'll just log out of here. Don't turn it off. Just sign out. It's a spinning disk hard drive on this machine, so it takes a while to start up. So we just put it to sleep.